A generation ago, buying a house with friends might have sounded like a last resort. But today, it's an increasingly mainstream strategy for young people who are seeking both financial security and a life built around chosen family rather than the traditional nuclear family. This trend of friends and siblings teaming up to buy homes is driven by more than the obvious factors like soaring housing costs. It reflects deeper shifts in social norms, policies, and what people value in their closest relationships. Affordability is a huge catalyst, but co-buying a home with friends is also about redefining homeownership and family on one's own terms. Today we'll explore why more people are doing this and how they're making it work. We'll look at new laws that recognize non-traditional households, some eye-opening data on how common this is becoming, and what the cultural reframing of friendship as family means for the future of home and community. It's no secret that buying a home has gotten a lot harder for younger generations. By pooling resources, co-buyers can reduce housing costs by an estimated 40 to 60% per bedroom compared to going solo. It's no wonder we're seeing Millennials and Gen Z exploring creative options like house hacking and co-ownership with friends. But financial pragmatism is only part of the story. Fewer young adults today see marriage and kids as prerequisites for buying a home. Many people are delaying or foregoing marriage altogether, but still crave the permanence and investment of home ownership. If you're single or your romantic partner isn't in the picture, why not turn to the people who are constant in your life, like close friends or siblings? Policy is beginning to reflect this changing notion of household. For example, Colorado passed a law in 2024 that prohibits cities from enforcing old rules that limited how many unrelated adults can live together. Previously, some places like Fort Collins, for example, had limited homes to no more than 3 unrelated roommates. But laws are slowly adjusting to the reality that a household might be a group of friends sharing a mortgage, and not just a nuclear family. Almost 15% of Americans have co-purchased a home with someone who isn't a romantic partner, and many more say they'd consider it. 32% of Gen Z would consider co-buying with friends or family, and Gen Z is 78% more likely than millennials to consider it. In 2025, 22% of Gen Z homeowners bought with a sibling. This is a radical change from even just a decade ago. Real estate professionals say that they're seeing friends splitting down payments and couples inviting a friend into their purchase to make it work. In 2024, about 1 in 5 co-ownership groups included a married couple teaming up with others. Social attitudes have shifted to place friendship on par with or even above romance in some cases. The trust and bond between close friends can feel as secure as a marriage, so why not build a home and equity together? The term chosen family was popularized by anthropologist Kath Weston in her 1991 book Families We Choose, and it's now widely used across sociology and queer studies. For many people, especially millennials and Gen Z, close friends are no longer seen as just companions you hang out with until you settle down with a spouse. They are your family and your primary life partners in some cases. Raina Cohen is a journalist who has documented how some individuals are making friendship the center of their life in place of traditional marriage. In an Atlantic article, Cohen argued for prioritizing deep friendships and treating them with the same gravity and commitment that society usually reserves for romantic partners. She says these friendships can become models for how we might expand our conceptions of intimacy and care beyond the confines of marriage. Buying a house with friends is a perfect example of this ethos in action. It's a statement that a platonic partnership can provide stability and mutual support, and not just emotional, but material support too, like sharing a home and investing together. Instead of friendships being seen as placeholders until marriage, they're being reframed as valid, long-term partnerships in their own right. The trend is also fueled by the fact that people are just taking different paths through adulthood than previous generations. Many are focusing on careers, personal growth, or community in their 20s and 30s, and less on the marriage plus mortgage formula. With almost half of adults under 50 who don't have children now saying it's unlikely they ever will, and people marrying later than ever, the friendship network becomes the support system. And it feels natural that this would extend to housing. If you've been roommates with your best friend since college, or you and your sibling both moved to the same city for jobs, why not upgrade that relationship into co-ownership? Buying a house with friends comes with complexities and risks that a traditional single-family purchase might not. You're entangling finances and living under one roof with people who don't have a legal or blood relation to you, and life can change. What if someone's job relocates them across the country? What if two co-owners have a falling out, or someone just wants to cash out their equity? These are things that co-buyers should confront early and not once the crisis hits. The good news is that with open communication and proper planning, friends can design their co-ownership arrangement to handle those challenges. Many people who have gone this route say that the process of creating a co-ownership plan actually strengthened their trust in each other, because it forced them to really align on values and expectations. And if someone in the group isn't willing to hash out these details, that itself is a red flag, and it's better to know before jointly owning a house with them. In an era where the definition of family is expanding and traditional milestones are being rearranged, co-owning property with friends can be seen as a logical and liberating development. It allows people to take control of their housing security and wealth building on their own timeline, instead of waiting for the often unpredictable timing of marriage or some ideal circumstance. It also speaks to a yearning that many people have to live in a supportive community. The pandemic experience of isolation emphasized how important our close relationships are. And for some people, the answer was to literally bring those relationships under one roof. But this path isn't for everyone, and people might not like the entanglement of finances and the loss of a bit of independence. No matter how much you plan, co-owning with friends carries risks, and a bad falling out could leave you friendless and in financial turmoil. But for a growing number of people, the rewards outweigh the risks. They get to enter a housing market that would otherwise shut them out, and they get to do that alongside people they love and trust. Moving forward, we might expect to see more services and frameworks catering to co-buyers, like startups facilitating group mortgages, legal templates for co-ownership agreements, and local policies adjusting to multi-adult households. Maybe in a decade, seeing two friends or a small group of unrelated people buying a house together will be just as unremarkable as a married couple doing that. This could be the start of a future where collaboration and shared ownership become normalized in many aspects of life. I think the rise of friends buying homes together is a story of people rewriting the script they were handed that said, first comes love and then the mortgage. And if done thoughtfully, co-owning a home with your closest friends can mean a richer life where your home truly feels like a chosen family household. In a world where economic pressures and social values are both shifting, that might be exactly the kind of home we need, because it's one that we built together on our own terms.